My brother-in-law died suddenly, and now my sister and her kids have to sell their home. That's why I told my husband we could not put off getting life insurance any longer. An agent offered us a 10-year, $500,000 policy for nearly $50 a month. Then we called SelectQuote. SelectQuote found us identical coverage for only $19 a month, a savings of $369 a year.
Whether you need a $500,000 policy or a $5 million policy, SelectQuote could save you more than 50% on term life insurance.
For your free quote, go to SelectQuote.com. SelectQuote.com. That's SelectQuote.com.
SelectQuote. We shop, you save. Full details on example policies at SelectQuote.com/commercials.
Okay, round two. Name something that's not boring.
A laundry? Ooh, a book club. Computer solitaire, huh?
Ah, sorry, we were looking for Chumba Casino. That's right, ChumbaCasino.com has over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Welcome to Pretty Lies and Alibis. Join us as we seek the truth and travel the long road to justice. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to a quick update. I am Gigi Fruit Loop. You good?
I'm good.
Good deal.
I'm in the light now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Fruit
I'm
Loop
just
said,
still working on my thing, and
Fruit Loop said, let there be light.
Exactly.
Yeah. So thanks everybody for your messages. I'm trying to keep everybody updated about my aunt because so many people have wanted to be updated, and we had a setback today. She's back at ICU. Hopefully this isn't going to be a big deal, but it's been a very stressful day, and I've been up there over 12 hours. So just keep her in your thoughts, positive vibes, prayers, whatever you do, because it was working and it's still working.
Yeah.
So
you
anyway,
feel like you're on a roller coaster when all that happens.
it is a roller coaster because she was doing so good for a couple of days, and then we come in today and she's unresponsive. So she has metabolic acidosis. Yeah. And that's where there's too much acid in the blood, and it could be like a fluid thing because she's been getting a ton of fluid, but they've also been taking fluid off of her. It's a whole mess.
It's a balance. So
it is. So we are just grateful that they feel like, you know, hopefully this will resolve without any issues. So we actually started opening statements and some testimony, but first we're going to give a big shout out to our sponsor, Two Cool T-shirt Quilts. If you look behind me, you can see part of the beautiful quilt that came from her. I need to find something to display it, but Christmas is coming up. Graduations will be kicking up in the spring. So plan ahead, get you about 30 T-shirts, go to their website. They explain the whole process of what they can do and how they do it. Go to twocooltshirtquilts.com/pretty lies and alibis and check them out. So what can they do, Fruit Loop?
They can take your T-shirts and make them into a quilt that is too cool.
Yes, they can. And you can see that behind me. So testimony started in the Josh Duggar trial today. And we're going to kind of go over the best parts of what happened. However, Fruit Loop and I have decided we are not going to get into what was put on the screen for jurors today. We don't need to go there. I really skimmed it. I don't want to even read stuff like that. You don't need to, you know why he's in court and facing 40 years. And we're going to leave it there. So thanks to Diane also for the PayPal donation. We appreciate that.
Thanks, Diane.
Thank you so much. She's always taking care of us. We have a few that just, 2-3 times a month will send us a little something in the mail or whatever. And it means a lot. So we thank you very much. So before we get started about what happened, Derek Dillard, which is Jill Dillard's husband, sat beside Anna Duggar, who is Josh's wife. Now, Jill is on the witness list, we assume, for the prosecution because she was one of his victims back in 2002, 2003, when he was when he admitted to molesting 4 of his sisters and including a babysitter. Interesting, though, Joyanna's husband, Austin, was in court and sat on the back row. Apparently, Derek and Anna sat on the family side, like for the defendant. And Austin stayed in the back, and they say completely ignored Derek. Now, Jill and Derek have kind of broken away from the family, and they're doing their own thing. And oh my gosh, even talked about their sex life on their YouTube channel. So they're banished. And if that didn't banish them, I'm sure her testifying against her brother probably did. So anyways, the judge is allowing testimony of prior bad acts from 2002 and 2003. So
I totally agree.
I mean, it's a pattern, and it shows prior history that this kid is a predator.
Yep.
So we know that Jill is on the witness list, potential witness list. His brother Jedediah is also on there. I believe Jedediah was working at the car lot around the time that these images were downloaded. So we don't know if he's going to be for the state or the defense. I kind of assume Jill definitely for the prosecution. And we know that they're going to let Bobby Holt and her husband Jim potentially testify. Bobby Holt and Jim had Josh live with them like for a little period in 2005. He was dating their daughter at the time. This is when he admitted to Bobby that he had molested these girls. But the defense team argued, the defendant also argues that Mrs. Holt's conversation with the defendant should be deemed privileged because one or both of them prayed or opened the Bible as they conversed.
That is the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
It is so stupid. And can I just say, we don't have to look far to see where terrible things have been done in the name of religion or made up religions or whatever. You can't cherry pick that stuff. And you can't use it as a shield when you've got terrible accusations. I'm really glad the judge saw through this. Also, but part of what the defense said, conversations between two church members the judge said conversations between two church members are not shielded from discovery by the clergy privilege, even if those conversations involve serious subjects and are punctuated by prayer. In talking about Jim Bob Duggar, the judge also said Mr. Duggar claimed that his wife and Mrs. Holt could be thought of as joint elders of the church simply because they were married to elders and would help with special things. The court rejects this testimony as self-serving, contradictory, and lacking in credibility. The court found Mr. Duggar's selective lapse in memory to be not credible. He was obviously reluctant to testify against his son. In any event, his testimony is not necessary for the government to introduce Rule 414 evidence at trial. Mrs. Holt's testimony is sufficient.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Right.
I can't remember what.
Yeah.
No.
And just a reminder, if you're in Arkansas, this guy's trying to run for your state senate on family values, and he enabled molestation. I'm sorry.
So in opening arguments, the defense said the case is a classic whodunit and says their computer forensic expert will be key. They claim other people who worked at Josh's car lot downloaded the material. He said in his openings, if you like a good mystery, then this is the case for you. Why does it have to be Josh? He asked. He said investigators buried their heads in the sand over the course of 30 months. The prosecution didn't hold back in their openings. They showed snippets of the abuse materials, and several jurors were seen looking away in disgust. The prosecutor said, we ask that you hold him accountable. Josh showed no emotion as prosecutors outlined their case against him.
You know, I feel so sorry for these jurors because they're doing their civic duty, but they're also viewing things that will stay with them until they take their last breath. This is some of the most vile things out there.
Yeah, just sick. A detective from Little Rock, Arkansas, and a Department of Homeland Security agent were the first two witnesses called. They explained how their system works to trace IP addresses to people who download this stuff. And they do this, we've seen it in the Daybell case. Mm-hmm. They can find so much stuff.
Even if you delete your search history, it's never really gone.
No. Yeah.
And These are the feds. This is not some small, teeny tiny police station in the middle of Arkansas. This is the federal government.
Exactly. So they found a lot of materials on his computer, including 65 of a 7-year-old girl. He used peer-to-peer encrypted file sharing software to download the abuse material. He used a program used on the dark web called a BitTorrent, which enables users to download files while sharing theirs. He also created a second workspace on the computer to download this stuff using the password Intel1988, which is the same password he used for his banking. He told investigators he used it 50-50 for work and personal. The federal agent testified that when talking to Josh said, "So what, guys, has somebody downloaded child abuse materials?" And after outlining the allegations against him, Josh said, "I am not denying guilt. I don't want to say it. I don't want to say if I'm guilty or not." And then he said, "Did something happen on my devices? Did it mark this IP address?" And then he said, "I appreciate what you guys do." Duggar replied, "I don't want to say that I'm guilty or not of accessing inappropriate content at some point in my life."
And here's the thing. They really tried to use the fact that Josh was homeschooled and got a GED at 16 and didn't have any further formal training. But, and so they're kind of claiming that this, homeschooled Christian boy wouldn't know how to use these elaborate, try to cover up software stuff. I think that's kind of stupid. People
you can Google it. You can see a YouTube video of how to do it.
I'm sure you could probably find step-by-step instructions on how to do this, but it's, I know his defense attorney's got to try something, but it seems really desperate. I mean, he's throwing around all these technical terms that I've never heard of when he's saying that he acknowledges he knows what a BitTorrent is. He knows what this is. He knows what that is. I mean, look, his wife had to have this Christian software on his computer. If he looked at adult stuff, it would alert her. I mean, that's how bad it was.
Yeah.
So the defense said the IP was traced to an unconnected house near the car lot. The defense said this is not Josh Duggar's house. This is not the reality star we're excited to investigate. So they did not investigate the house. He also said that Josh is a Mac guy. He likes Apple products. And they said he was homeschooled and lacks the IT skills to install all this stuff.
Well, sorry.
You know what? My grandma can figure out stuff with a Google search.
I know.
She 87.
Grammy on here. She'll find it.
Right. Yeah. So I'm just saying, you can find out how to do anything online, unfortunately.
There's too many how-to videos.
There's too many how-to videos. And I'm going to tell you, as much as we rely on social media, you and I, to do what we do, I really do think it has been a big blow to society. I think that it has brought out the ugliest in all of us at some point. And I'm just saying, if I go back to the 80s, I would.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I mean, back then, if you want to badmouth somebody, you better be willing to back it up. Speaking of backing it up, I was in Walmart this morning getting my aunt a few little comfort items. It was a big old fist fight. 7:30 in the morning. I walked past them. I said, it is too early for this, y'all.
Hey, they already out of bread or something.
They were brawling. I got audio of it. I'll have to send it to you, Fruit Loop. It's got bad language, so I won't play it for y'all.
Oh, wow.
So the agent testified. This is, I believe, the agent from either Little Rock or one of the federal agents testified today, and then an agent from Little Rock who initially was alerted to this. The agent testified that an employee of Josh's, whose first name is Randall, I don't want to put his last name out there, apparently they tried to kind of throw this on him, but however, he was not employed by Josh at the time the material was downloaded. He was there when investigators busted up in there. He started his employment May 31st, and the abuse materials were downloaded May 14th through the 16th. And the agent also said that Josh claimed he used this torrent for car photos. And the agent said Tor is anonymous and the dark web is not a good place to sell cars. Oh boy. Goodness. So oh man, this is one of those few people that I look at their picture and I just want to punch my computer screen and hope that he feels it somehow.
Yeah.
I have a legit voodoo doll from Haiti. When we used to go on medical mission trips, a voodoo priest gave me a voodoo doll, may bust it out later with a little pin and name it Josh. I don't know. People like that are the worst of the worst in our society.
Well, the sad thing is there's millions just like him.
There are. And the bad thing is that these people get re-victimized every time these pictures or videos are shared, even if they've been rescued from these situations and are adults now. To people like Josh, they are still 7. And it's just insane.
Yeah.
I hope that like there is some kind of a thing created where any file, it gives you a location, and I'm all for bringing back the gallows in cases like this.
Yeah, there's got to be there's got to be major prison time over this stuff.
I think that for me, we've talked about this before. I'm very 50-50 on the death penalty. In some cases, yes. In some cases, no.
Mm-hmm.
I'm of the mindset that people that abuse children, especially in this way, I think the death penalty should be an option. They will never change. Look at Josh Duggar, 12 years old. He started this. As soon as he hit puberty, as soon as he started changing, and he has not stopped. And the man is in his 30s. He is never going to contribute to society.
No.
Anyways, enough of my rant. So I'm going to keep an eye on this tomorrow for the next day. I don't think they're thinking this is going to take a whole bunch of time.
Yeah.
So it's Wednesday. I don't know. I mean, the jury could get it by Friday or Monday. So I just hope this is like done, guilty by 40 years.
Yeah.
He'll be 70 something when he gets out. So anyways, that's all we got for you. I am going to take a shower and go to sleep. I'm tired, but that's what we do, man. We take care of each other. And again, thank y'all for your sweet messages and stuff that you've sent. I will keep everybody updated. Fruit Loop, we'll do this again tomorrow.
That's right. Get some rest.
I am. Y'all have a good night.
Okay, round 2. Name something that's not boring.
A laundry? Ooh, a book club. Computer solitaire, huh?
Ah, sorry, we were looking for Chumba Casino. That's right, ChumbaCasino.com has over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+ terms and conditions apply. See website for details.